And welcome back to News Desk. Oriku joins me with the sports. Good morning.
Good morning, Anita.
Last year of the year, how are you feeling?
I think it's been a good year.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah, sad to be saying goodbye, but I mean, we've had some good times during 2019 and hoping that 2020 would be better.
Would be better.
But two standout managers throughout this entire year, I think, have been Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. You know, for Pep Guardiola, he has won the domestic treble, the first ever men's English team to do that, winning the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the English Premier League. For Jurgen Klopp, he also did win an intercontinental treble. That's the Champions League, the Super Cup, and the Club World Cup. So these two managers are really pushing each other to the limit, especially in 2019. And those are the two managers that we're going to be talking about today.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, go ahead. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so starting with Pep Guardiola, I mean, he came into this season as the defending champion, winning by 98 points, just 1 point ahead of Jurgen Klopp last year. And it's been a tough season for Pep, certainly having issues with his defense, and they've fallen way behind Liverpool, 14 points, with Liverpool having a game in hand. So, I mean, after their game against Wolves, when Pep Guardiola lost, and then he went ahead to win against Sheffield, he was asked whether, he still thinks that it's realistic enough to win the league, because remember the last season, Liverpool were almost, about 10 points above Man City when Man City had a game in hand. And Pep's men managed to put up a win streak of 14 games straight to the end of the season, and they managed to win it. So he was asked whether he think that perhaps a miracle like that could happen, because there's a lot at stake for Man City.
Yeah.
If they do win this league, they would become, the second side in history to win back to back.
Yeah.
Sir Alex Ferguson did that, in that 2008, 2009, 2010. So he's trying to match that. But he said that at the moment, it does look unrealistic. And it's difficult when you're being asked the question, when you're 14 points, 17 points behind someone. It's really difficult. So he hinted that his boys are going to try and develop with each match, and the focus would be on the knockout competition. So I think that's what brings the question as to whether Man City are going to focus on the Champions League this season, which I think they would be doing, because because they do have a realistic chance of winning that as well. So I think that he's declared it now. A lot of people were thinking it, but he's officially said it, that his focus now would be on the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup, two of which his side are still in.
Right. Speaking of Sir Alex Ferguson, he turned 78 yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
So just in case you're listening to JoyNews, belated happy birthday. But Liverpool is in a bit of a quandary, aren't they? Yeah,
and that's Jurgen Klopp. I mean, you can't really find a fault with the team as of now. They barely lose any game. They've gone half a century
like
at Anfield, and everyone is just against them, saying that VAR is on their side and all that. But I just think that it's a good period that they are having, and they look like no one is going to stop them. But they have a minor problem, and that's Jurgen Klopp in particular. And he was asked as to who he prefers between Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. Just a reminder that next week in Egypt would be the CAF Awards, and both of these players have been nominated for the African Player of the Year. So Jurgen Klopp was asked who he thinks should be winning this award, and Jurgen Klopp being Jurgen Klopp, saying that he loves both of his players. He thinks that they've both been incredible, and he wishes that there could be two first places for the award, because he thinks that both players truly do deserve it. And even if you look at their statistics, I think that both of them have been really brilliant in the season for Liverpool, and have really contributed to making this Liverpool team tick. So Jurgen Klopp trying to play that father figure and not choose a player, but I think that it wouldn't really matter.
Inevitably,
because there would be a winner between Mane and Salah. And we always know that there's been a little bit of a rift. They fought sometime this year, throwing tantrum at each other on the park and all that. So they've had their issues, but I think that Jurgen Klopp has been really brilliant in how he has dealt with this situation. So we'll be building up to that as well in terms of the CAF, awards that will be happening next week. And don't forget that tomorrow, New Year's Day, we'll be back here to preview the Premier League fixtures. We're getting no rest.
Yeah, we are getting no rest. And so that's it for News Desk. Thank you, Oriku, and for bringing us the sports.